We're going to be taking a look at a few articles talking about Google potentially facing multiple discrimination lawsuits. First, let's take a look at this clip featuring a former vice president of Google talking about how this man just was in possession of wrong ideas. He was a wrong thinker. And quite frankly, what he said was offensive.
Vice President of Google and former U.S. Chief Technology Officer and Advisor to President Obama, Megan Smith. Megan, great to have you here today, especially on this day. My first question is, when you read this, what was your reaction?
You know, it's so offensive to see what this young man was writing, but it's helpful to see it in the public because many of the people working in Silicon Valley are experiencing this kind of microaggression culture that's coming from some of our younger employees, other employees who have these points of view and think that they're correct. They're just incorrect, and it was wonderful to see the reaction. One of wonderful alumni of Google, who's a distinguished engineer, wrote a terrific piece.
Don't. Okay. All right. So he was a wrong thinker. He thought things that were just incorrect. You're not allowed to have these incorrect ideas. Well, an incorrect idea is something that is logically inconsistent or something that is verifiably false, such as 2 + 2 equals 5, for instance. But let's move on. Here's a document, or rather a website that somebody made showing the memo, and there is nothing in here controversial. And it's very well sourced, as you can see. This is a scientific document. It talks about the biological differences between men and women with sources. So it's not like this guy pulled this all out of thin air. So moving on to the meat of this video, the reason I did it. More than 60 women consider suing Google, claiming sexism and a pay gap. Their claim is that even though they work a similar job title to, say, a man or whatever, that they're not getting paid as much. Now, this is the same thing of equality of outcome does not equal equality of opportunity, right? We go for equality of opportunity. That's what we want. We want people to have the ability to apply themselves and do better, not expecting some sort of subsidy from the government because you don't make as much as a person that you associate with. Anyway, it's pretty much what they say here is that, let's see, we'll read the first few paragraphs or sentences depending on your criteria for what a paragraph is. More than 60 current and former Google employees are considering bringing a class action lawsuit alleging sexism and pay disparities against women as the technology giant wrestles with a deepening crisis over alleged discrimination. That was not alleged, that was straight discrimination. James Finberg, the civil rights attorney working on the possible legal action on behalf of the female employees, told The Guardian that they contend that they have earned less than men at Google despite equal qualifications in comparable positions. I wonder if a civil rights attorney is helping the man who was fired for making this memo. His name escapes me at the moment. James Damore, I think. Is the ACLU gonna come out and have his back? I really doubt it. Anyway, others, he said, have struggled in other ways to advance their careers at Google due to a culture that is hostile to women. Now, considering that a man was just fired for pointing out the biological differences between men and women, the fact that that Google would be accused of having a culture that is hostile to women is ridiculous at best, disingenuous at worst. The Silicon Valley company is reeling. I thought it said reeing for a second. From the leak over the weekend of a male software engineer's 10-page manifesto criticizing diversity initiatives and arguing that men occupy more leadership roles than women in tech biological differences. Oddly enough, that's not a good sentence. I mean, I'm one to talk, but this is in The Guardian. But I wonder, if a woman wrote that memo, would they have completely interpreted it differently? Are they that sexist? Are they that close-minded? But we should move on because I do think that the other two articles are a little bit more interesting. Nearly 300, and this came out actually quite a few hours ago. Nearly 300 have joined the Google age case, and this is talking about ageism in Google. So far, 269 people have joined a class action lawsuit against Google, claiming they were discriminated against in the workplace based on their age. I can't imagine these people would be the type. The scope of the lawsuit against Alphabet Google's division was revealed in a ruling by the U.S. District Court Judge Howard Lloyd and follows what he referred to as a lengthy hearing that took place in San Jose in late July. In San Jose, it's not just me. Is everyone, like, getting a brain tumor? Fucking grammar, man. The lawsuit originated in 2015 with plaintiff Robert Heath and was certified as a class action lawsuit in 2016. Because this has been going on for a while. But Google might have their work cut out for them. And then and this is another one I found today, an editorial from a website I've never heard of, Super Nerdland, is that Google has been under investigation for labor practices in the U.S. over 2 years. Google has recently come under fire after the decision to fire an employee, James Damore, after Damore published a controversial memo. Controversial. I mean, he's technically correct. Internally detailing his views on how the company engages in ideological discrimination and how Google could improve project makeup. Anticipating blowback, Damore filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board. Yes! Believing the blowback would be discriminatory. This guy knew, I knew it. When I was reading it, I was thinking, or reading the story, I was thinking, did he expect this to happen and did he get his ducks in a row? Yes, he did. This man is, I'm rather impressed with him. I didn't know that last part that he already went there to, ooh, I'm jittery. Because as I mentioned in a previous video, they broke the law. They breached national labor laws. So, this is, fantastic. So, here we are. On August 5th of this year, Motherboard reported that the existence of an internal memo that had gone viral within the company. Oh, that's this memo. Fucking I thought it was further on in the year, actually. Yeah, here we are. We will start our recalling at May 17th, 2016, which is when a former employee of Nest, an Alphabet subsidiary, submitted a complaint to the NLRB for coercion and retaliation after the employee was unceremoniously fired. As reported by Business Insider, the main offense the former employee cited was his posting of memes critical of former Nest CEO Tony Fadell on a private Facebook group that had current and former Google employees on it. So he just posted it into a group. And I think this is an example of some of the memes that got him fired. Before advancing in our timeline, it is of worth that there is a related NLRB complaint against Google that is still open from November 2015 that we found when researching this. Guess what the complaint alleges? And we'll take a look at that. Basis of the charge. Since about, it's probably meant to be redacted, and blank, 2015, the employer has interfered with, restrained, and coerced its employees in the exercise of rights protected by Section 7 of the Act by threatening an employee with threats of unspecified reprisal because of projected concerted activity and by issuing a final written warning to employee in retaliation for protected concerted activity. Since about August 6th of 2015, and continuing to the present date, the employer has interfered with, restrained, and coerced its employees in the exercise of rights protected by Section 7 of the Act by maintaining, enforcing, and applying the Code of Conduct Policy, the Appropriate Conduct Policy, and the Policy Against Harassment, Discrimination, and Retaliation. Gotta love all of that word salad. So I think the blood is in the water. People are now starting to realize that Google can bleed. It's like in 300 where Xerxes gets the spear through his cheek. A god can die. Gods will bleed. And that's essentially what we have here. People are now jumping at the opportunity to milk Google for everything they have. Which means that the world is in an interesting place. There's an opportunity out there for somebody with a lot of resources. If I had the resources, I'd be trying to do it myself. I actually did try myself, and it didn't work out. This is a time for another company to take Google's place, and to do so with ethics. So I will leave a link to these articles and everything in the description below. Feel free to check them out for yourself. And I will be back later today talking about Google again, because there is apparently a blacklist in the tech industry, and I found it quite a few articles and messages from people on Facebook and on Twitter talking about putting people on their blacklist and things, and it's incredibly illegal, for one. And so we're going to talk about all of that, and I'll show you all the evidence that I have. However, if you do like that video that's coming out next, Mr. Medicare, quite frankly, one of my favorite YouTube creators, he's working on a fully investigative version of that that'll probably go out at the end of this week. So if that sort of thing interests you, I would encourage you to go check out his channel. He does much more in-depth, higher quality versions of what I do, essentially, except his channel is more based on investigating crazy people and crazy little communities. However, every once in a while, he'll do a very well done, in-depth investigation on some things. So I would encourage you to check out his video whenever it comes out, because it will no doubt be top-tier quality. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this, and I will see you later tonight.